What does it mean to really develop a character?
Boy, that's a good question. What does it mean to develop a character? You know, I think you need to understand the character, understand the way the character thinks. Often we start out with, you know, when you're looking at it just from the nuts and bolts story, you go, okay, that's my villain, this is my hero, that's the love interest, and you come up with the archetypes, and then what we need to do is shade in those characters so that they're unlike any other hero, villain, love interest, you know, sidekick, whatever we've seen before. They're the individual. And so when we shade it in, that's the developing the character. We're taking a character and taking them from stick figure and shading them in so they're three-dimensional. Which, one of the things that I think is important is to know why your villain is right and why your hero is wrong, or protagonist and antagonist. Because often what happens is people don't know why their protagonist is wrong. Their protagonist is 100% right, or why their antagonist is right, you know, is on the right track. And people are multidimensional, you know, we're not all good and bad. So to find the good in the bad character and the bad in the good character are critical to making that a three-dimensional character. And that's a tough thing for a lot of new writers, is they just want to have their hero wants to be, as a projection of themselves, they're the perfect version of themselves. But the problem is a perfect person is dull. We like flawed people. You know, we want, the example that I always use is Liar Liar, because Jim Carrey's character is a bad father and says so. And he is a terrible father. Now, he means to be a good father, but he's not. So that character flaw being the guy that, I mean, his biggest character flaw is he believes that a lie is better than the truth. So he lies to everybody so as to not hurt their feelings, and instead hurts their feelings twice as bad when they find out that it's a lie. But he is a character that's not 100% perfect. He's a bad father. And his journey from bad father to good father is what the story's about. And often what happens is new writers don't want to have that journey. They want to have the character be a good father all the way through because I'm a good person, and this character is kind of part of me, and so they're going to be always good, and they don't want to explore the bad part of themselves, and we all have those. None of us are perfect people, we all are flawed. So you need to sort of dig into yourself often and find the bad parts of you and deal with those, you know, on screen. Did I already say you're taking the things you wouldn't tell your best friend and telling, you know, 100 million people worldwide. That's part of that. I think I said that before.
Do you think people can see that in themselves?
That's a tough thing. You need to be aware of who you are and really be introspective and look into yourself, and not, you know, there's a Hemingway quote that a good writer, oh man, what is it? Now I'm going to misquote Hemingway, but a good writer needs a built-in bullshit detector. And the bullshit isn't for other people. The bullshit is for you, because you are going to spout a whole bunch of bullshit as a writer, and you are going to give us the perfect version, and you are going to give us the I'm flawless version, and that's your bullshit. You need to cut out your bullshit and get to the reality, which is ugly, and we don't ever want to think about it, but we're flawed people, and those flaws are going to somehow come out on screen. One of the interesting things is our story choice always comes from whatever's inside of us. So I think it's interesting when, you know, I'm a high concept guy. I come up with a bunch of ideas, and every idea I come up with is me. And part of the job, once I come up with the high concept, is to trace it back and go, why is that me? And once I find why it's me, then I can explore that in the script better than just do the surface version. And I think bad high concept movies are just the surface, what if he's an alien? What if he's whatever? And it's like, it's the surface story, not the internal story. And the internal story is what makes it human and what makes the audience relate to it. So I said about the reincarnated murder victim, 12-year-old girl, and that story is called Past Lives, and it deals with not being able to escape your past. And your past is that thing that's always a part of you. And I think all of us try to bury elements of our past. You know, we go, oh, I did this stupid thing once. Oh, I made the mistake that ruined my life was telling this person they were an idiot, when in fact, if I had just kissed their ass, you know, and all these things that we do, and there are baggage that we carry with us. That baggage that we carry with us is why we come up with ideas sometimes. We look through the filter of our lives and find the idea that interests us, and then come back. And if we just take the high concept version, murder victim is reincarnated and at 12 years old, the murder victim starts to bleed through. You could do the worst movie in the world with that, but what I decided to do is really look at how our past affects our present, and how sometimes things that we wish we could shake off from our past just hang on to us no matter what we do. The whole idea of revenge against the person that killed you is your past controlling you. So, once you come up with a high concept idea, then you backtrack it and go, how is this me? How is this my personal story? And how can I use that, the personal story, to make it the more emotional version of that story instead of the plastic Hollywood version, which it may become later on anyway.
Do you think that somebody under 35 would have a lot to pull from?
Yeah, sure. And some, again, I don't even know who the writer was, but some famous damn writer said, by the time you're 18, you've had enough heartbreaks and stuff happen to you that you can write a bunch of novels. and all it is by that when I was in kindergarten and, I desperately wanted to kiss Debbie Morrow and she completely rejected me, real name. That's one of those things where like, oh man, my heart was broken forever. And you go through that heartbreak. I was in kindergarten, I was 5 years old, and I've experienced heartbreak. So if you're 18 years old, if you're 15 years old, you have material to work on.
You do, okay.
You just have to be honest enough to mine that material.
Right.
Although I think, the older you get, the better screenwriter you are. Hollywood, are you listening?